the five biggest things that we learned from 2023 that we will then kind of keep our eyes on, I feel like, going forward in 2024. Garrett, it starts off with our number five. You can't build a super team instantly to compete through just one portal offseason. And I know this may rub some people the wrong way. We certainly ruffled some feathers in Boulder, Colorado this
Yeah,
offseason.
why'd you choose that picture for that graphic, Garrett?
I don't know, man. That's something happened in Colorado, I guess, and the guy used a portal, and we were told by people all off season that there was no chance that they wouldn't win 8 games. Like, oh, these guys are winning 8 games minimum. It's going to be amazing. Deion's just a winner, and Deion could very well be a winner someday. But I think we pretty much saw from the rip that you cannot do this in one off season. You can't completely turn over a roster in one off season. He tried. He really tried. He took the entire roster, threw it out the window, brought in a bunch of new guys, but the problem is there is something to chemistry. There is something to understanding somebody's culture, understanding what it means to win, getting time in the weight room, getting time in the system, practicing with your teammates, trusting. Like there's just so much stuff that goes into winning football games besides just the X's and O's and just having the right guys on the field or whatever. Like there's so much that goes into winning football besides just that. And you know, we didn't know how Deion was going to adjust coming up a level, right? He had never coached, you know, at the Power 5 level before. He came up and he tried, and it wasn't a bad season. We told people if he wins 4 games or if he wins 5 games, that's a huge improvement off of what Colorado's done the last several years. And so we should expect, you know, hey, that would be good. That's a good step in the right direction. Programs aren't built overnight. And this is kind of the thing is you can build a program from like maybe good to great or great to elite or elite to championship winning through some, you know, additions to the portal. I think Ole Miss has been doing that the last several years, adding players and doing a really good job taking themselves from a good team to a great team to elite to next year. A lot of people expecting them to compete for the whole thing, but you can't do it in one offseason. It's just not possible. And maybe the only guy who could have done it just retired from the game. And even then, I'd think if you drop Nick Saban in Boulder, Colorado, it's still going to take him a couple of years to build the whole thing back up and make them championship winning contenders. So it's that look, it was fun. I know that they got all the hype, and I know everybody told us we were stupid in the offseason. But here we are at the very end of the season saying, you know, we kind of told you so.
They went 4-8. That's what we predicted they would go.
I thought I was being optimistic at 5-7. Turns out I was kind of right.
Yeah.
Well, and the two keywords here in this lesson are compete and won, right? You can everyone is going to need to use the portal. I'm a firm believer that the days of just being able to, you know, stack high school talent and never use the portal are long gone. Just ask Dabo Sweeney how that's going for him at Clemson, right? But you can't do it in one offseason. You have to build. And Garrett, I love what you said. You can maybe make that one jump, right? If you're a perennial 10-win team and you just need a couple of guys to get over the top, you find your quarterback through the portal and, you know, that puts you over the top. Great. That's awesome. If you're a perennial 6-win team and it takes you to 8 wins or 8 wins to 10 wins, could definitely see that. But making these massive jumps and the people that are freaking out that, you know, think it's going to be like European soccer all of a sudden, and these boosters are going to buy all these players and, you know, create a Man City, no offense, Garrett, but create a Man City overnight with a bunch of oil money. Like that's just not going to happen the way that it's currently set up, in my opinion.
I hear you. And, you know, listen, egg on my face, because the other example I included in our notes was USC. I expected USC. I picked USC to go to the playoff. I expected them to win the Pac-12, even with how stacked Oregon was, Washington coming on strong. And so, you know, I expected USC to be that good or great team that, okay, 2 seasons in now, big portal class, especially on the defense, they take that next step. And I think what, you know, we got to see is, first of all, Alex Grinch as your defensive coordinator just nullifies everything else in the program. So, you know, it's like multiplying anything by 0. Like the result is 0. But even with that, a big portal class does not a super team necessarily make. And so, Trey, like you're saying, it has to be a combination of effects, a combination of factors that ultimately lead to where you can become a Georgia. You can recruit like Washington. Washington was not burning up the high school ranks. I think last year their high school class was 48th in the country, like not elite high school recruiting, but they brought in the right portal talent. It obviously helps when you land a superstar quarterback like Michael Penix Jr. So, this whole notion that just overnight the team that has the best portal class is instantly going to be that favorite to win the national championship, that favorite to win the conference. That's not statistically true. We haven't seen that be borne out. And so that's why we started with this as lesson number 5.
Gracious him. How about